If you have ever been in a conversation with someone who has a stammering problem, you may have noticed that they tend to finish the conversation abruptly or just slowly fade out when in a group conversation. There are various causes for this, and speaking as someone who has been stammering since school, I am here to help you to help you out with some methods that you can use to finish to help finish the conversation. Please keep in mind that the method I'm talking about are from my own experience and do not apply to everyone. Uh, do not apply to everyone, and it should be considered as a very broad generalization. So one of the first things that you can help out is by maintaining your body language. See, people who stammer are generally more sensitive to changes in the body language th- than someone who speaks normally, because a person who stammers is more focused on finishing a conversation before the person who they are speaking with finds them annoying and leave. If they feel like the person in question is getting irritated, they tend to speed up and to they tend to speed up to finish their to finish the conversation as soon as possible. And when they speed up, they tend to stammer a lot more. Second thing which you can do is try not to cut them off. This is more of a more of a personal thing, and is and cannot be applied to everyone. But as someone who stammers, I have felt that whenever I'm in a conversation and someone just cuts me off, uh, whatever I have said, I feel like whatever that I have said up to that point was quite useless, especially if it was a group conversation. As people keep speaking one after another, and I would have a pretty hard time interjecting myself back into the conversation, unless someone else told me to continue. Sorry. The third thing which you can do is get to know them. This may seem like a no-brainer, but when talking to someone with a stammering problem, the best way to have a smooth a conversation as smooth as possible is by making them feel comfortable. See, first impressions matter. When conversating with someone for the first time, someone with a stammering problem will try to create the best first impression they can possibly make. So they are already pretty nervous, and like I mentioned earlier, they are pretty sensitive when it comes to their body language. And if they feel like they messed up, they are going to stammer a lot more. The best way to close the gap, especially if you are colleagues, is to talk about work. See, generally, generally speaking, and I mean a very. This is from my own experience. Well, actually, I rarely have seen anyone who who, who stammers. So this is only just my own experience. Um, People who stammer generally tend to compensate uh, by by trying to be a more efficient worker. So, and this is because due to the lack of conversation which they have, s- a majority of a majority stammerers are more of an introverts, especially if they have been stammering since childhood. uh, and to give my example, uh, when I was in school, people tend to make fun of my stammering. I A few months ago, I was contacted by one of my classmates, and they apologized for well making fun of their stammering. Apparently, uh, she had turned into a child psychologist, and apparently one one of her patients was having the same issues at me, and when interacting with them, she kind of reflected on what they had done to me, and they got in touch with me and just apologized. See, what actually happens is that middle that schools can be a bit tough, and people who screw up, they generally just become a lot more. They get made fun of a lot. Even I was made fun of. For the people who taunt them, it may seem like they may just be doing a harmless prank, or just some harmless fun. But for the one being targeted, it may have a psychological effect in the long term. One of the advice which I was given in school when it came to people making fun of me was to ignore them completely, which I did. And when I stopped reacting to them, they did stop taunting me, but uh, but uh, but what happened because of that was that they stopped interacting with me altogether. So in the last few years of my school, I was practically friendless. And one of the reasons was that I personally did not take any in, in initiation to make friends, because I was afraid that if I start talking with them, they they will start making fun of my stammering all over again So I just shut myself off in school, at home. I just stopped interacting with people at all. And even at home, I used to just come back home and play games all day long. I The only time someone talked to me was when it was a school project where a conversation was quite necessary. Even at school, I did not used to talk a lot. So I just used to to roam around the campus during breaks and just wander around aimlessly. It was and that was the say and that was my intuition until I reached co- co- college. It was only then when people started giving me a chance, when I started to just to well, conversate. It was only then when I broke out of my shell. Well, I still don't have any friends though, and yeah, I just can't think of anything else to talk about.